All right. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Dylan Builds a Web App. So, before we do that, let's talk a little bit about my latest course, which I normally have this up and going, but I just got out of a meeting with Udacity, which is kind of cool. Bring it up here. 100. So, if you guys are interested in checking out my latest course, the 100 Front-End Interview Questions Challenge, it's the highest rated in its area. It's got 5 stars. It's covers 100 of the most common interview questions you'll be asked when you interview for the front end, and has about 10 hours of content, and covers much more than that, including interviews, tips and tricks, all that sort of stuff. You can get that and the 100 Algorithms Challenge for just $9.99 in the description below using coupon code CodingGod. So with that all being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into our Trello board here. I guess I should show you what I worked on this morning. So on the days I work from home, I have about an hour in the morning. We'll go ahead and launch our application real quick. And I did some stuff. So I fixed the... This is pretty cool. Alright, so this should be up by now. Alright, so why is this taking so long? Alright, so there goes our test suite. You'll see that we have plenty of tests, 87 tests. Some are pretty basic, but others get, a little bit more, like our title service has, I think, the most tests. So cool, all our tests are still working, our server's launched. So I added the footer in so it works completely. We can go to the About page, which there's nothing on. And I also added this, when you hit the footer, it goes to the top. Pretty cool. That's what I did this morning, though, off stream. So now that we've done that, what we want to work on today is some of the About page stuff. So let's go to our things here. So there's 2 things I'm going to focus on. These 2, I got my mocks back. I didn't like this. I didn't like this. And I didn't like this. So I got to redesign it a little bit. And I think we're going to build the quote component here, which is part of this mock. Cool. So with all that up and running, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna close my door real quick. Is it Wednesday? Happy hump day? I think it's Wednesday. Alright, so... Alright, so what we're doing here... I'm gonna build our quote. Sorry, Tito. We have our quote component .ts. Now, this isn't going to be super dynamic or anything like that, but we're going to make it take in some input. So if by some miracle I want to quote on another page, we can do that. Ayo Tushio. TCO. How you doing? Hello there. Can you guys still hear me all right if my mic's down right here and not right in front of my face? I think I'm just gonna stop using this microphone while I do it. The audio's better than the one on my headset, but it kinda gets in the way. Alright, so now that we've done that, let's go to our About module. Then we'll add our quote. Yeah? Alright, cool. Thanks, Lewis. Go up to here. Test in here. Yeah, cool. Kind of under. Do you think I'm it's not. I would say it's unrelated to web dev. If you're asking about ways to learn JavaScript. But yes, I do think solving algorithms, like on sites like CodeSignal and things like that, and HackerRank, I do think that forces you to use some of those higher order functions and a lot of those items that you don't use every day. So I do think that's a good thing to do. What am I building? A documentation site at the end of the day. Today we're going to be building part of the About page. I still am working on the design of my, you see I was messing with it earlier. I'm still working on the breadcrumbs design as well as the vertical nav design. I got to play around with it a little bit. As well as the overall flow of the page. So this is a subcategory page, and I still have to do the details page. But after that, I have to actually just start making content and a backend and all this other stuff. So cool. So we launched that. I introduced a bug in my code this morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to components, we're going to go to alert.scss, and here we'll just do a z index of 3. There we go. Cool. Kind of forgot Angular. Did you make that design? Sort of. I mocked it and I paid somebody on Fiverr to just make it in the color scheme that I want a little bit better, and then I make alterations to it as it goes, right? So this needs to get better. Alright, cool. So we want to go to the About page. That's where we'll be working. And on the About component, we'll just have an H1. It says hi. Let's go to our About component dot here. So instead of an app team, we're not there yet. We'll do app-quote. Cool. That's all working. I'm going to bring this up over here. Alright, so our quote component, actually, there is such a thing as Blockquote, and being able to assign an author. So I believe there's a citation. Just like this sort. I don't care about that. I think there's something else where you can assign. Yeah. There we go. Alright, cool. Just want to make sure we do the correct semantic markup and all that sort of stuff. So, now that we've done that, let's go back to our quote component. We want that to be a block quote. And we have our CSS. This is mainly going to be CSS and HTML right here. Paying $5 $7, man. There's a $2 service fee. Yeah, I basically have paid $5 or $7 rather for about. So I make the mocks and then I send them and I get them back in two days or so, and it's $7 and it's for like each one of these screens. So like, I'll give you an example. Like this screen right here was for this modal and this alert. And I oftentimes am not thrilled with it, but it gives me enough to get going, you know? Alright, so let's start here. We have block quote, display, block, alright, and let's go ahead and open this up. Working on challenges is a struggle when you spend like 15 minutes to solve a problem they classify as very easy. Hey, we all gotta start somewhere, man. Do I always use CSS Grid for my styling when I need to? Yeah, I mean, I just like CSS Grid. I've used Flexbox, but not as much as CSS Grid. Honestly, I'd probably have to look up CSS Grid at this point. Or excuse me, Flexbox. So we're gonna have a paragraph. Then we're going to have is that really how they want us to flow? I'm just looking at this real quick. Alright, so quote, our block quote. And in our block quote, we'll take an input. Let's just hard code it for now. I think it's fine to hard code it. Public quote. There you go, takes. Seems like you're a pretty noob. How can you teach others when you cannot code? What do you say, man? You know what you won't be saying? It again. There you go. Get 'em. You get 'em, boys. How do you avoid getting spam from your contact info? I don't know. Salty dudes out there, man. Let me tell you what. Alright, so we're gonna throw some padding on this of about 20 pixels. And leaves a little bit of and. It's so true, man. It is always the it's always the dudes that I used this before. It is always the dudes who like never set up their profile, just want to show up and shit on you because you're doing something that they couldn't. That's it. That's all it is. I'm not saying Jacob Curtis, it's always the ones with no photos, but it's always the ones with no photos. We can do something like this. Actually, does Font Awesome have an icon with a nice quote? Subscribe me on both. Excellent. That's how I like it. All right, let's go ahead and import our SAS file. I just don't get it, man. Why are you gonna show up on a channel and just like what good does that do for you? I was actually talking about this in like a job interview one of these times. I don't remember exactly when it was, but where if it was up to me, I would treat the internet like you signed up for, like websites would be forced. Like you know how you go on like Airbnb, right? And they make you upload your ID and then that's you, right? I honestly think all of the internet should be like that. The anonymity lets people's worst tendencies go out. So, all right, and then what am I looking for again? Oh yeah, I was looking for the example. Actually, this should just be a paragraph. Best code of all time? Thank you. At least someone's got some good taste. Look, man, I don't need anyone to come in here and kiss my butt. I really don't. But like I also where's a good place to learn Angular? Right here, dog. Honestly, just some Udemy courses. I got yelled at today by my boss. You guys want to hear this story? Yelled at's probably an overreaction. It's definitely an overreaction, but I got talking to. I got talking to. Should I go for a coding job or freelance first? You should go for anything that has everything that you can get. Alright, cool. So what we'll do here is we'll make the footer. Did he pull you aside and say, Dylan, you're talking digitally speaking? He wanted to update me about some business, but second part. So I sometimes lack finesse. It's something that I think is actually a very good strength of mine, but I understand how it affects other people. And it drives my girlfriend crazy sometimes where, alright, we gotta, oops. Where I just say, I blurt things out and I feel okay about it because they're true. So, and so what happens is sometimes I get myself in trouble. And oftentimes my intent is good, but I do sometimes a very poor job of explaining it because I don't explain it. Alright, so cool. What we want to do is float this to the right real quick. So that's going to be align self and no, justify self. I think this is justify content end. Oh no, that'll do it. Alright, so cool. So justify content end. And we're going to want to remove some of that spacing there. But yeah, I need to be more diplomatic. Which I know these things. Oftentimes I'm somewhat confrontational in an effort to make things better, because out of what's the word I'm looking for? Out of controversy typically comes growth and like honesty. And you'll find out in your career very few people will be honest with the business because it's too hard. Okay, so nice, we have it floated right there to the right. I don't know why it's not in me. So we will then have our author. But where I made a mistake was that I didn't necessarily throw any solutions at the problem. So when you are going to complain about something, have a solution in mind. And I guess I kind of did, but maybe I should have done a better job. All right. There we go. And then I don't know. Companies in general, people in general, also I don't think are used to someone who doesn't care if they get fired or not. So like for me, man, like, do I need this job? Yeah, I need this job. But like, you know, I need more than this job to build this web app. Give me all the time to build this web app. Yeah. Damn it, how do you, I forget how to make something italic in CSS. I can't even remember last time I did that. Font dash style, set italic, alright. Can't get enough of these videos? Good, man. I'm having a lot of good fun doing them, man. I'll be honest with you. I've been enjoying myself. That doesn't look too bad. Where's that? Gotta put that Harvard comment in there. Let people know we're fancy. Alright, let me look at my quote. Alright, cool. I've seen the movie Office Space, but yeah, I mean they. How's that look? I don't think that looks that bad. Let's see how it looks. All right, we definitely want to give this thing some. I don't want it to go over. I want some padding. I want it to cut off like right here. So how do we do that? So on here, we give it something like a padding of. Well, that's not actually what I want to do. I think I can just change the grid. What do I think about asking for a salary raise at quarterly review? I mean, I'd do it. So, if I felt like I was being underpaid, you better believe I'd do it. And this will be 1 to 4. And then the action. Let's see how that turns out. I think I might have messed this whole thing up. Yeah, you definitely want to go in there with why you're underpaid and why you're worth more. And what I would say, is this, Istvan. I don't know your personal situation, but pretty much any dev nowadays can leave and get a raise, especially if you think you're being underpaid. And if you're being underpaid at your current company, chances are you get a really big raise leaving for another company. It's when you are actually making above market rate that those jumps are going to be a little bit harder to get. So that's what I would say to you, man. So I would tell you to... that would be my comment for you, is that you'd probably just, instead of staying where you're at, I think you'd probably be better off just leaving and getting a really fat raise. But that's just my sense. Ooh, this will be... Jay Fluke's on? My boy Jay Fluke. Jay Fizzle, as I like to call him. Alright. So I think our quote came out just fine. Nice. Now, let's go ahead and commit this real quick. Oh, I forgot one design element. I want to put a little bar on the end here. Let's go and launch that again. What goes good with blue and white? Would yellow go well? Black? So what I want to do is something like this. So on the block quote, we're going to give it a border dash left of, we'll say 10px solid, and let's just see what black looks like. So something like that, except we want it to be, let's try yellow. I don't know about yellow. What about one of these background colors? Should you work more on using arrow functions? Yeah. You want to know a question I asked to pretty much everyone I interview? What are arrow functions? And then you'd be surprised how many people don't know the second part of that question, which is how do they differ from a normal function without not talking about syntax. The yellow doesn't look bad. Well, let's see what this looks like. I think we might already have enough color. That's what I'm thinking here. Ooh, that might be too similar. I wanted colors. Whoops. What did I do for the other? Does green go well with blue? The answer is yes, yeah. Yep, that would be correct, Jacob. You nailed it. Most people don't know that, unfortunately. Let's try this. Let's see if this looks any better. What do you guys think? The gray or the yellow? Is the gray too light? I think the gray might be too light. That's a little too spicy. I'm gonna leave it as yellow. And we'll leave that there. Alright, cool. I'll probably talk to Ricky, and I think I'm gonna add a icon of me over here later on. Let's do some cooler stuff. So what we're gonna do next is build this component. This is going to be like the team, the squad, baby. This is going to be the squad right here. And so you click this, then you click this. Oh, cool. We're going to slide this image to the left. We're going to slide this one to the left. So, and change the content and the data like so. So this one's going to be a little bit more interactive. First, we're going to go ahead and let's get our, I think I already built the holder of the component. Yeah. All right, cool. So, first and foremost, we're going to have, let's build our little side container. Yeah, let's do that. So I'll create a div here. Bring this over here. Hashtag team-members. Cool. Team-members will be, I don't know, display of grid. Actually, I think it's grid inline, right? I always forget. No. All right, grid. And, oh, before we move forward, let's go ahead and actually throw that on that page. So we have our app quote, followed by our app-team. All right, cool. Yeah, I think yellow is the right choice there, Tishi. All right, and the first thing in our team members is going to be the team. Let's go ahead and div team. And do I have a picture of your boy? Holla. Alright, so we need to Google your boy here. Look at this, man. I should just say Google me, bitch, when people interview. Look at that. First thing, software channel. Second thing, senior software engineer at PwC. Third thing, senior software engineer, mentor, content creator on Udemy. Couple videos talking about it. My GitHub. Fourth thing, GitHub. Fifth thing, Twitter. That's all right. Sixth thing, CodePen. Then you got the Facebook. Introduction to Scrimba by Dylan Israel. Keep it going. What's on page 2? More Twitter. Free JavaScript course on Scrimba. Again, Facebook. Patreon for creating coding tutorials. Podcast, Dylan's been on. Code Mentor X. I don't remember doing that. Stack Overflow for me. Medium. Oh, I haven't written anything on Medium. I'm surprised that's showing up. Oh, I forgot the whole reason I went there was to get a photo, huh? Maybe a lighter blue would have worked instead of yellow. Yeah, we'll take another pass at it. This is my favorite photo. So let's go to Documents. Let's go to Video Docs. Let's go to Source. Let's go to Assets. Let's go to Team. This will just be Dylan-Israel. Alright, cool. And in Team, we will have 4 images. They will be block. We'll give them a max width. We'll make them 50 pixels. I'm not doing any responsive stuff, so this is a desktop first site because of the clientele being developers, but I'm going to have to do a whole mobile rework of everything that I'm doing when I actually get it out. So this should be assets / team / Dylan-Israel.jpg. The alt Dylan Israel. Cool. And let's go ahead and repeat this twice. It's only really 2 people that are going to be part of it. So now that we've done that, we'll do a grid-template columns, and that'll be 1 FI. No, auto. No, wait. Yeah, it's 1 FR, but then we want the max width of this to be like 250 pixels. And in here, in our team, this is what I meant to do. So, #team. So display grid-template areas, auto. And then we'll say grid-gap 5 pixels. Let's see how that looks. There we go. It's more so what I was looking for. All right. Now that we've done that, let me go ahead and get a little placeholder image. And so our team members will have actually all right. Now that we've done that, we want a we have our team, then we're gonna have an HR, and then we're going to have a H3 that has an author. So this author So what we're going to do here is we're going to have, let's see here. Not author, public, we'll call this selected team member, current team member. Equals an empty object. And what we want to do is I want to go define a type real quick on team. So each team member yeah, we might as well create a Am I going crazy or is that just not doing? Oh, it is. Cool. So new file, we'll call this team.model.ts. So we're going to export class team member is really what I should have called that. We'll rename it. All right, cool. So each team member will have a public first. We'll just call it full name. We'll do it this way. Public first. First name. That'll be a string. Public middle name. That'll be a string. Public last name. That'll be a string. Public occupation. That'll be a string. Public description 1. That'll be a string. Public description 2. That'll be a string. And now we're going to go define a social media model. Cool. And then in social media, in here, social media will have a public URL, which will be a string, and then we'll also have a public icon classes, which will be a string. All right, and then over here, each team member will have an array of social media. And let's go ahead and finish this one real quick. So we'll just put a constructor here, throw some data in it of any. One too many A's. A baby. That's one too many A's. Alright, cool. So social media model is done. So now that we've created our model, we gotta do something very similar here. Create it. Whoa there. Actually, this should be media. Oh, it's time to stand. Alright, so what we're doing here is just creating a model so when we map our data, it all works accordingly. And like, granted, we're gonna probably just create a JSON more or less that we're gonna pass into here, but typically we'd be pulling this from some sort of API. Really, our model should control how it works. Alright, cool. And now that we've done that, we can do something like get full name. So we can create a public get full formatted name. We'll just call it full name. And this will return a string. And what this is going to return is this dot first name space this dot middle name, first character of this dot middle name, followed by a dot and a space. This dot last name. Alright, cool. So our constructors there are done. Cool. So we have our current team member. We're just going to initialize it. Alright, let's create a JSON data of our team member and models. I'll just go ahead and create a new folder called data. This will be a new file. This will be team-members.data.ts. Alright, so we're going to export const. This will be team_data. So new team member. And so in here, we'll paste in an object. What do we want this to be? We want this to be, so let's just go down the one second, I gotta change the music up. Alright, so now that we've done that, we'll go ahead and do first name. This will be Dylan. Middle name Christopher. Occupation senior software engineer. Description 1. see what I put on my resume. I'll put that as the first one. Dylan teaches and mentors tens of thousands of students monthly on software engineering, web development. He has a passion for JavaScript and becoming Dylan teaches and mentors 7,000 students monthly on web development with this. As passion for science. He not only created a display but countless other courses and videos, many of which given away for free. Others to learn from. All right, so there's the description one. Now social media. I know, it's not very exciting, right? Setting up JSON data. Alright, so there you go. Dylan teaches and mentors over 9,000. Are we there yet? Dude, telling me, man. So first thing we're going to need, let's go ahead and bring up our social media class now. Cool. URL. We'll start with YouTube. That's an easy one. https://www.youtube.com/coding tutorials 360. Yeah, icon classes. What's going on, Mosh? Alright, and font awesome. Don't worry, this thing's gonna look sick, man. Okay, come back later. Believe in me. Everyone here is considered mentor. I think over 9,000. Well, it's more than 9,000 technically. It's hundreds of thousands. If you actually consider Udemy, you consider Scrimba, you consider YouTube. Uh, there you go. That sounds better. Hundreds of thousands. I don't know if it's factually like, yo man, some good English. Alright. So let's... Alright, cool. Cool, save that. Let's finish up with the LinkedIn. Don't worry, I'm only gonna do one real data, because I gotta get some of this information from other people. Alright, so there is the LinkedIn URL. Now we gotta go get the is it monthly though? No. Continues to mentor hundreds of thousands of aspiring engineers on web development. Is that better? Dylan teaches, continues. Teaches and mentors hundreds of thousands of aspiring engineers on web development. His passion for JavaScript. There we go. Look, man, we can worry about the content later. All right. You're killing me, Smalls. Alright, so there's that. Next up is... What is next up? Next up is the old Twitter. You love it? You love the content? Oh, yeah. The students Coding God saved you $2 on my Udemy course. There you go, baby. I told you. Coupon code Coding God. I make it the same on every one of my courses. So, all right. You guys are distracting me over here today, man. Alright, so Twitter profile. There we go. Alright. Sweet, sweet watch time. Thank you, Jacob. Dude, I just hear my girlfriend screaming downstairs at the dogs. Just having a rough time today, man. All right, last one with a link to github.com. So I applied to GitLab a while back, and I was perfect for the role. Absolutely perfect for it. And I'm almost positive they turned me down because I didn't have a GitLab account. All right, boys. Sweet. So, we got this content. So what we're going to do is we'll create team members. To, let's actually rename this real quick. Like, look, dude, I have a GitHub. I'm not gonna go and just make a thing and lie to you, but they literally ask for it in the interview process. Like, dude, calm down. Calm down, GitLab. I don't know. They probably had their reasons for shooting me down, but I remember just thinking, like, I wonder if that's why they turned me down. All right, so we're gonna initialize team members. Let's see. Gotta relaunch that. Look at that recent activity, boys. We're looking pretty good here. I'm gonna keep it going. I should say, yeah, calm down, GitLab. You're not that big of a deal. They could have been. They hired the coding god, you know what I mean? That activity, though. This is why, you know, I was working here. I don't think I committed, though. That's a mistake on my part. Keep that train going. All right. Cool. So we have our author. Now below that, put H4. We'll put so the author is gonna be oh, you know what? No, this will work. So lots of white space in the back. Hey, man, don't judge me, bro. You know what I was doing here? You know what I was doing here for 3 months? I was building the highest rated. Let me show you real quick what your boy was up to for those 3 months. The 100. See this? See this bad boy right here? Highest rated. 100 front-end interview questions challenge, dog. Which you can get for just $9.99. 124 lectures. Killing it in the game. That's what I was doing. Putting in work. Educating America and the world. But yeah. And then just YouTube. A lot of my stuff I don't commit. Like all the projects and tutorials I put out, I delete them all after a while. I never commit them. That's probably pretty bad. Okay, so current team member. Current team member dot shit was all right. So we want to get full name. Let's see if that works. Dylan C. All right. Did we mess up last name? Nah, I should. You're right, though. I know. I'm gonna give you a hard time, man. I didn't put full name. See? Look at that. Last name, not full name. Alright, there we go. So first thing we're gonna do is just get all the data out. We're just gonna get all. This is how I normally would do it. I'd build my models. I'd connect the data, or I put some mock data in there, and then I get my data out. So once you have it on the screen, it's much easier to just know what it is that you're working with. Cool. So ng class is equal to an array, and then we'll just put class or media dot icon classes. I think that's right. Doesn't look to be right. G class isn't a known property. I think it's part of some module I need to import. Browser module. Because everything's lazy loaded. You oftentimes have to reload this stuff. All right, cool. So we have that. Although our social media classes don't look like they're being applied. Scanning all 4. All right, so we have something set up with our data. Think that should be fine. Social media. Well, that's for sure wrong. There we go. Cool. So we got our 4. Whew. All right. So all right, now that we've done that, what we want to do is create the container around it. But before that, remember this image we had here. We're actually going to do this. All right, so team members. All right, now we're going to focus a little bit on CSS. All right. I'm going to give this an ID, and we'll just call it team container. Oops. Eddie D, what'd you type 5 times and delete, man? Alright, cool. So we're gonna set this a height of, let's try 400. Let's do this first. What was the size of this? So yeah, we'll say a height of 500 pixels. A width of 1080 pixels, and we'll set a background dash image URL, and we'll get a gonna put this placeholder in here. Cool. That looks about right. We came out pretty good, I think. All right, cool. So now that we've done that, we're gonna give this a background. We're gonna make it look a little bit pretty. Background color. This should just be. And let me go ahead and just take the variables things out of quote. Alright, cool. So you have our background color, and we're gonna give it a. God, I always forget how to get. What color is this? So we want this to be partially see-through. So that's what we're gonna do. I gotta look up the RGB value for this. So there's 37, 37, 37. .9 is good. All right. Cool. Now that we've done that, we want to bring this out a little bit. We don't want it right on the edge. We want to give it a little bit of breathing room. And so we'll do margin dash left of 10%. Let's do 5%. Cool. All right, now that we've done, looks like we messed up one of our social medias. So we have YouTube, Twitter, GitHub, but we didn't get LinkedIn. So let's go and fix that real quick. Alright, cool. There we go with that. Upload this whole thing after. I mean, the video will be up. Yeah, good job, Michael. We got it. We got it, squad. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's make it a little bit pretty. But yeah, the video's up. So this is part 11 of a very long series where I'm coding out an entire web application. So you have plenty of things to look at here. But okay, cool. So we have our data. Let's go ahead and give it a little bit. Let's style it a little bit. So that we've done that on our team members. Let's give it padding of about 10 pixels. Cool. Might have to make this photo a little bit bigger. So let's make it 650. And we'll make this like 900. And we'll do the same thing here. 650 pixels. And then here, give it a height 100%. We don't. Stretching out the HRs. Oh my god, really? There we go. Alright, cool. So that looks alright on these images. We're gonna say cursor pointer because eventually that's gonna be a click event. So you click on here, it's gonna change it, right? And then we are going to have our HR color, or I think it's just border, right? Border light gray, I think is a color. So cool, a little bit light gray there. Next thing that we're going to do is so close that. I'm just gonna pull this over here for now. Cool. So we have our H3, which is going to be so there goes team. I do H3. This will be color red. Does that look right? It's actually orange. Orange. Can I explain why I passed data? Yes. So this is something that let me give you another. Let me open up the team member model. This is something that I encourage, a pattern I encourage a lot of people to adopt. So okay, so let's say for the sake of argument that we're getting this data from an API, right? And what we're going to do here is not only are we defining a model, which we're using in TypeScript, right? So we're, we can use this as a type in our code, but then we're having a constructor give it default values. So if I go to the API and then this first name is undefined, like it just doesn't return a first name property, this, if I just do this dot, data.firstname, will be undefined. And let's say I'm trying to do some string manipulation on that data, like I tried to splice it, I'm going to get an error in my code. So this, by giving me default values, one, I can instantiate these things for testing purposes, which already have all the data in it that I need, and I can just modify what I want. And I have a single constructor to do that. And two, it makes my code less error prone. So in this case right here, by assigning an empty array, I can still map to social media types, but if social media, for whatever reason, this key doesn't come back, it's going... Now, if they send me back a social media key that's a number, it's going to blow up, but it was always going to blow up. So what it does is it allows me to make it easier to create things and easier to test things, and it allows me to assign default values to make my code less error prone. That's the point of why I'm using those the default values in my constructors. Okay, cool. So we have that. Now what should be the occupation? Let me go to my colors real quick. Variables. So we have orange. Let's try black. See how that looks. That doesn't look bad. Orange and black. Alright, cool. And then we have our paragraph right here. This is going to be green. Very nice. And let's get a little bit more padding then. That's a little bit much, isn't it? Okay. Now let's go ahead and do our social media icons. Yeah. You don't believe how hard it is to try and convince people to follow this simple pattern because they don't want to type it out. It took me 5 to 10 minutes and I have a better application because of it. Ugh. Yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and give these icons some font dash size of, I don't know, 30 pixels. See how that looks. Cool. Let's make it 35. Then let's make this display grid dash template dash columns 1FR 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 grid dash gap. Actually, it looks like that's probably fine. Let's do align content center. No, it's just content center. Just items. There we go. I knew I'd get it eventually. Alright, cool. Let's look at this on the big screen. I didn't get it. I did. I just didn't apply it. If your LinkedIn and GitHub aren't quite there yet, should you improve them before applying or just go for one? So that would be the very first thing I would tell you to always do is get your GitHub and LinkedIn together, man. Like day one, you need to have a good look in LinkedIn. So like before you do anything else, just start doing it and consider it something that you're going to maintain, right? So, you know, one thing I tell people all the time is having a good LinkedIn and having a good GitHub is one of the first things that you need to do in your software engineering career. So we're going to take that margin off of this. So we're going to say H3, comma H4, margin 0. Let's see. It's just as important as you learning to code is making sure your LinkedIn and GitHub page are there. I mean, here's just the truth of the matter. If no one knows that you're good, then no one knows that you're good. Like you have to. You really, and this is like. One thing I tell people all the time when I do my mentoring is like I always ask to see your LinkedIn every single time. I need to see where you're at. I need to see what we can improve upon. I need all that. I'm going to group these together. That doesn't look too bad, right? Let's give HR no. I think if we take... Where's our HRs? 2. Ugh. That looks a little... Oh, maybe this way? There we go. I was gonna say, that looks a little condensed. Yeah, let's go ahead and put these in a div. There we go. That's better. All right, and line item center, line content. No. All right, cool. Align item center is the last thing we need on here. All right, so we got this. We're gonna need to make this a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and say we make that like 1,000. And what we want to happen is we're going to click on one of these and it's going to change this to data, which is relatively easy to do now that we have it set up. So just so that we could see it. Oh, you know what? We didn't set up the URL, did we? So we need to actually make this an anchor tag. And let's get that going. And then move this to here. All right, cool. And then cool. Looks like that's good. All right, so first thing we're gonna do real quick is we have this team member data, and we're gonna copy the whole thing right here. And all we're just going to do real quick is change the on click, we're going to change the first name. So, big boy? Is that my big boy? You guys want to see something funny? Look at this. You're all wet, buddy. Let me show you my dog from like, this is my dog 7 months ago. Look at that's my dog 7 months ago. Let me show you my dog today. Come here, buddy. We're gonna show you off to the world. Ah. Oh, big boy. Oh. Oh. What dog? What dog? Oh. Big boy. Alright, get out of here. Get out of here. Oh. Oh. You good boy? Alright. That's my boy. That's my boy Gator. He's still the size of a shoebox. Alright, so what we want to do is when we click on that. Yeah, he's 70 pounds now. Gator's been stacking them gains, man. He hit the gym a little bit, you know? Gator's on those prison roids. Alright, so all we're going to do is, you see I changed this to Dolan. No big deal. Now, on click, when we're going to add a click event to this. And we eventually will probably... We should probably add an image URL as well. And then we'll iterate through that. And I'll do that in a second. Let's go ahead and... do this. So in our team component, team member.component. Oh. Alright, cool. So if we click on this second one, right? And alright, we're gonna add a route. Alright, now we're gonna do it right. Alright, so let's just call this photo. Yeah, he's still growing too. That's the crazy thing. Alright, so now that we've done that, Let's go ahead and save that. So let's go back to here, and instead of doing this, we will instead, Achilles, jump into our team component. You can see we have our team members. Looks like I was already setting this up and forgot about it. NG. And then in our source, simply, hey buddy. In our source, we will simply add member, and then here, and alt, and that will be member dot full name. Hey buddy. My cat's not taking note for an answer. He's like, you will pay attention to me, human. Cool. And so you can see now, save it. I click on it. You see how our name changed? So that's going to swap it out. So this is fully set up. The only thing we have to do now, other than probably clean up styles a little bit, is we are going to have this image slide in a different image based off of what image we have selected here. So like there'll be an image for Dylan or whoever else is on the squad, you know what I mean? We also have to write some tests, right? Alright, I got a few minutes to write tests. I got 9 minutes. I can do some tests in 9 minutes, so ooh, bless you. Oh. Alright, so we're done with this. Let's go ahead and open up. That's really the requirement. I was trying to think of something that focused more on business needs, but I'm like, nah, dog. The first one's me. Yeah, we still at it. So I always try to do 2 hours. So like, if you look back at the this is I guess the 11th live stream. I've worked a little bit outside of it. I always try to do 2 hours live stream because like that to me is a solid session nowadays. Although I put in about an hour in the mornings now. I'm basically back to my like learn to code schedule, except half as much. This actually might fail because we're instantiating a new object every time. Oh, no. It didn't. Okay. Excellent. All right, so those are our defaults. When working, do you more often suggest features and refactor code, or do you wait to be told to implement a feature? What do you mean, like, wait to be told? Like, what are you doing? You're just there collecting checks, dog? I mean, usually, any place I've ever worked, there's always been plenty of work. So... But it depends on what part of the project I'm doing. I usually do greenfield development, so I'm building features most of the time. Although, depending on your project, you might be doing a little bit of both. You'll find out that a lot of people don't care about code quality or testing, or like pretty much every organization I've been at. It's no matter how hard you try to make the point, some will pretend that they care and others will care but can't do anything about it. It's a very strange world. Greenfield is starting from scratch. Yeah, it's like building a project versus a legacy project where you're working with outdated technology that you typically are going to get paid less. There's because there's more people in demand with it, and that you're also going to be maintaining an old application that some developer hacked out that is poo-poo, and they left a long time ago because they didn't want to deal with their own code. All right. Oh, man. Whew. All right, so we did two pieces of the about page, which was the what do you call that? The quote component, as well as the team member component. We have to get some images. We got to touch it up a little bit. I'm going to talk with Ricky, see what's going on there. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the live stream. We're at about the 2-hour goal. If you're interested in any of my courses, there are links in the description below. You should definitely check out my latest one, the 100 Front-End Interview Questions Challenge, which goes over 100 different questions you're going to be asking every front-end interview, as well as some tips and tricks to interviewing, even talk a little bit about salary negotiations and things like that. So check it out. You can get it for $9.99 using coupon code CodingGod or the links in the description below. I appreciate all of you. It's been a nice little day. I have to go and just relax for like an hour and then go to bed. So I also try. It's part of the reason I try not. So one thing I have to make sure I don't do, and this is to some other people out there who might be something you're worried about. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not a degenerate like me. But one thing you might be worried about as someone who really loves to code is working too much. So that's usually my issue, is I work a little bit too much. So you gotta be careful of that. And so that's why I try and limit myself to 2 hours, even though I snuck an hour in this morning. And I'll try to I'll sneak an hour in the morning tomorrow probably. But yeah, so keep that in mind. Especially if you're already working, you don't want to go into work tired or burnt out and not wanting to code, because that's what pays the bills, right? So keep that in mind. But check out my courses. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.